Welcome.
Hey everybody.
To Dr. LTV. I am Dr. Elle. I am overwhelmed and excited to have as one of our guests, one of my top, I don't know if I could call you my absolute favorite person,
Oh my God.
like in the world, but I think other people would get mad. So I'm just going to say he's in my top 5, okay, of my favorite human beings, Michael Hurd, and I'm going to turn the floor over to him so that he can talk a little bit more about himself, the projects that he's doing, the things that he's passionate about. If you have not followed either of us on social media, let me just tell you, this will be one of the most dynamic discussions that we've ever had on Dr. LTV.
Yes.
We are discussing sexuality and spirituality.
Sexuality and spirituality.
Yes.
Wow.
So before we get started, real quick, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yes, please, y'all subscribe. All of my followers, subscribe.
Which is Dr. LTV.
Yes.
If you haven't already picked up both of my books, Unlearning Escaping Scriptural Manipulation, Enhancing Spiritual Consciousness.
Yes.
Is written as an autobiography and a workbook and a help to those who want to learn more about God than the Christian paradigm that they were raised in.
Exactly.
It's full of scripture, life experiences, metaphysics. I also interpret some dreams in it as well. And then Venom to Victory is about relationships. Is the person that you're currently dating really the one for you? Have you established your healthy boundaries? Get the book, get both of the books, and let them benefit you where you are. So without further ado, I'm going to transition our discussion to Michael Hurd so that he can talk about who he is and what he is currently doing. So tell us who you are and a bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, let me just say how I am super duper excited to be here with you. And over the past maybe year or so, I've been asked to do a lot of interviews, and I think this is only the second one I've done. Actually, no, this is the first live one I've done, and then the other one was like on printed material. So I am so glad to be here, Dr. Elle.
Thank you.
You are amazing.
Thank you.
From the day I met you to this moment, you have not changed. You have evolved. You have grown. But the core of who you are, you have not changed. You have always been sweet. You've always been kind. And I am so excited just to be here with you on tonight. So this means a lot to me, even to be invited to be here. So I'm excited about that. Well, as she has already told you, my name is Michael Willis Hurd, and I don't know who I am because I'm always becoming, but I am very excited about where my life has been and where my life is going. So I will say this, first of all, I'm a father.
Yes.
And I'm a grandfather.
Yes. Yes.
And then I work in counseling for a very, very well-known university in Atlanta. And then I'm also a certified life coach. And so I work along with people who are working to become whatever it is that they feel that they're called to be, or whatever it is that they feel that they're called to do. I've been in ministry in the traditional sense my whole entire life.
Because we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we are. Probably since I turned 13. So most of my life, I have been ministering to other people. Now, as I have evolved, I understand that it's been empowerment. That's just who I am.
I would, and not to interrupt, I would call you a shepherd. I would say that you shepherd people.
Wow.
You don't necessarily force them into a certain path or on a path, but you kind of guide and allow them to make their own decisions. So I would say you shepherd a lot of people also.
And I'm grateful for that experience. And a lot of people who are introduced to me now into my empowerment or counseling or whatever it is that I'm blessed to do, they don't know about the side of me being a pastor or being in ministry or my church growing overnight, or they don't know about that. So it's a blessing to have had those experiences and now being in the position and place that I am now, because it gives me a chance to really be able to expand on what I've already been given.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's me. I'm just Mike.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm just Mike.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, if that's where you want to have it,
Yeah,
that's where it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm just
right.
Mike. And full of gifts.
Yeah,
because I want to recognize the universe within me.
Yes.
Full of gifts, full of fire, full of passion. Made some amazing mistakes along the way that have turned into wonderful life lessons that I'm able to share with other people. And I'm excited about that. Yeah. And I'm also excited to announce, because people have been asking me, when is my book coming out? Yes. This is the young lady who is actually going to help me publish my book.
Yes.
So people have been asking me about that. I'm excited about that.
Yes, for sure. Now, do you want to share a little bit more about the topic of your book, or do you want people to just get excited and start building the buzz and the anticipation about it?
Yeah, I just want to kind of just share that part right now, only because when you start writing, you get pulled in so many different directions. Yeah. So I'm just really listening to the universe right now to find out what path I'm going. I keep my phone memo pad always up, because every time the universe gives me something, I write it down so I don't forget. So, I had one title that came to me. I don't think that this would be the title. It was called Why Though? Why Though? Yeah. And how in religion, we are just not allowed to ask the question, why? We just have to go along with it because that's just what they said, or because it sounded right. But when we start asking why, it's almost like we get in trouble, or people become intimidated. And so I do know if I don't...
That's exactly what happens when you ask why.
When you ask why,
When you ask why.
Yeah, when you ask why. And so I was never allowed to ask that song.
Wow. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make sure that I'm actually able to go
I'm getting choked up.
Yeah, we're making sure all of our connections are working properly. So let's get started. Are you ready to answer some questions?
I am.
All right. So the first question is, what are your zodiac sign and best quality?
I am an Aries.
Yes,
all
you are.
Day.
Yes, you are.
When I come around, you can feel my Aries energy.
What does that energy feel like?
Leader. Protector. Strong-willed. My partner, who's here, and I'm so excited about that, he always says that one of the reasons why people sometimes get the wrong impression of me is because when they meet me, they view me as Superman instead of Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and so people automatically have great expectations on me.
Yeah.
Automatically. I don't even really have to open up my mouth. I don't really have to do anything.
No, because your presence, all of your energy speaks for itself.
Yeah, just
you don't
my
even
energy
have to
alone.
Open your mouth, right?
Yeah, and so, I've had to battle that, because when I am Clark Kent, then people become disappointed and become frustrated. And then I went from being, the son of God to Beelzebub. You know what I mean?
I do.
So that's what that feels like. It just feels like, someone who can take charge, someone who can rescue. Yeah.
What's your best quality?
I would say, please forgive me for coughing. I got caught up a little bit.
And please forgive me.
No, you're fine.
Because I am not connecting to the Wi-Fi over here.
I would say my best quality would be my ability to motivate people. Yeah. And to empower them. Yeah. And, I try to make people feel like if you want to fly, you can fly. Yeah. If you want to, if you want to build, my partner always talks about how I always talk so big. But I've always
That's how we think, though.
Yes, I've always seen great manifestations in my life as well.
We're not small-minded people.
I can't stay in something that is not where I know I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? So
we can't accept less.
It will not register with me. It won't. I'll try, but it won't.
Right.
Because I know there's so much greater.
Of course.
And not that I'm not grateful for where I currently am. I just know that there's more.
Yeah, I think because of our intellect and the way we were raised,
right.
we always lead with gratitude, right? We always lead with gratitude. I think we have a healthy balance between gratitude and matchless faith.
I agree.
You know
I agree. Because I can believe God for anything.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. I know that the power of the universe is in me.
Yeah.
To manifest whatever it is that I desire.
Yeah.
It may take some time, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Because we have the fruits
right.
of our power.
Oh my God.
It's the fruit. We've been able to plant seeds, see the harvest, and tangibly
right.
birth
right.
everything that we've thought of.
Right.
Because we understand the power of our thoughts and the power of our mind. So we essentially have receipts. This is not just words. Our life literally, we have an understanding that this is what we can do.
Do you remember back in 2012 when I stepped out on faith and I started the first Pentecostal gay affirming church here in Columbus? Were you here in Columbus?
I think you told me about that.
The church began to grow so fast. People were like, it's never going to work. It's never going to happen. Nobody's ever going to attend. People are not for that. That's not going to happen. But I knew that I could do it. And I will be honest with you and say this. My heart wasn't even all the way in it. But because I knew I could do it, I did it.
Yeah. And as you're talking, it wasn't only that you knew you could do it, but there was a heart for it.
Yes.
You had the capacity and the business acumen to create a safe space for people to come and be accepted. So there was a duality in you walking in your purpose, as well as your experience and your business acumen to actually make it happen.
To do that,
that's amazing. What businesses or causes are you passionate about?
Well, now it's seeing people be the healthiest that they can possibly be.
Sure.
And identifying the triggers of our lives that produces challenging behaviors and patterns. You know what I mean? Like, I am really, really big about people being healthy. Everyone knows I'm always, whether it's mental and emotional health or physical health, as people know, a lot of people know, I work as a medical research counselor, and I help doctors who are doing research in the area of HIV and AIDS. And so I'm very big on people being healthy and being educated. Something that in traditional church they don't always talk about. They just tell us, stay away, don't do it.
Don't have sex.
And that is so unrealistic.
We're human.
That is so
and essentially
unrealistic.
It's physically unhealthy to not have sex. Our bodies can physically have trauma and sickness because
and we move into depression. Whenever you try to suppress something that is a real part of you, the only thing that you're doing is opening up the door to depression, which then that causes your immune system to break down, which does open the door for other diseases. And people don't believe that. But it's the truth. This is one of the reasons why we see in traditional church so many people who are overweight. Because everything else is restricted but food.
Wow.
And we won't teach people that the food you eat is producing cancer in your body.
Sure.
But we'll tell you not to go and have sex. And so right now, in this place that I'm in, I'm really, really passionate about sexual health and mental health.
Yeah.
I believe that people should be who they are sexually.
Yeah.
They should not hide it. They should, and I don't care what price needs to be paid.
Keep talking.
No,
I'm just about to boil over here in a second.
I don't care what price needs to be paid for us to be authentic about our sexuality.
Let me just interrupt you real quick because I'm getting overjoyed. So if anyone follows me, the reason why Mike and I believe we've known each other for almost 10 years.
It's been a little bit longer than that. Yes.
Yeah, we've known. So this is genuinely my friend.
Yes.
But the reason he's on the show is because his understanding and his intellect, where how the universe has gifted him with not only spiritual wisdom, but with practical life application. I have so much respect. But there's so many similarities. So if you are following me, please understand that the words that are coming out of his mouth are exactly how I feel. And you'll probably hear me even outside of this platform, but this is how I talk. So I want y'all to know that there are two people will accept your sexuality, your spiritual beliefs, how you understand the universe and God and the Holy Spirit, your ability to read the Bible and the Quran, your ability to use crystals and to meditate and to burn sage and Palo Santo. Like, we are a safe space and an open space for you to be who you are. But I'm sorry, I got overwhelmed. So I needed to clarify for our viewers that this is my perspective. Everything that he's saying is my perspective. Okay, so go ahead and continue.
And so that is absolutely so beautiful. I just think that we have missed the variable of truth. And people always ask me, when are you getting back into ministry? I always tell people, I'm never going back to traditional ministry. I always say I do see myself in public empowerment. But I don't see myself in a traditional ministry. I want to provide a space in the future where people can come regardless of what your sexuality is. You may be polyamorous. I want you to know that you're just as accepted as the straight couple that's there. And like, people have to be able to be honest about who they are and what they desire.
And they won't, or they can't, or they're
In
scared.
most spaces, that's right.
Because there has to be an opportunity for self-acceptance. And you can't expect us to accept you until you accept yourself. So our desire for you is to really go within and really seek the truth within yourself. God is able, and I say God, but we know we're going to call it spirit, the universe.
The spirit or universe, right?
It's infinite intelligence.
Yes, he, she.
Okay.
Yes.
It has a burning desire to speak and commune with us directly. We don't need a third party. You don't need the upper echelon of the bishop. All you have to do is sit yourself in a safe, quiet place and be open to receive the truth or whatever that truth is.
And for people to know that the universe, spirit, God, however we identify that, is not outward.
It's
We're not reaching out. It's inward. You know what I mean? And so when we learn that, then we will understand how great we are. Because we have been taught, especially in traditional church, where if sex was your struggle, you were taught how dirty you are, how nasty you are, how filthy you are, how God is angry with you, and God, you need to get your. And
that's the point.
And I want to say this, and this because we're a space of love. It hurts me how we have been so indoctrinated with so much fear.
Fear of hell.
Fear of hell, fear of ourselves, fear of our struggles and our challenges, fear
of not being enough of a servant, fear from people pleasing, not enough, not paying enough tithes.
I promise you, I just said this the other day. My greatest struggle is the fear of rejection, of people not accepting me.
Wow.
Then I just had this conversation.
Wow.
Because that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
You have to do this for the people.
Yes. Because of service.
Because you got anointing on your life and people are waiting on. And I'm like, but who's waiting on me? Who's gonna help me? But I will say this. I think
we're not gonna get through. We're gonna have to do that.
And I'll come back anytime.
Yeah, please.
The part that blows me away is that in traditional settings, we honor people's gift over their integrity and over their education and even over their energy. Because when we can accept a famous singer who says that they sing the gospel, but then get up and publicly humiliate the LGBT community, and yet they're still singing on major platforms, they're still traveling, they're still doing this, and we don't call that down, and we still support. I'm sorry, I'm not going to a church or a place where a pastor can get up and as a black person call me a nigga. I'm sorry, it's not.
Right, I can't do it.
But we will sit in church as the LGBT community or whatever, because the truth of the matter is, psychology shows that everybody's bisexual.
Hey.
Or pansexual. That's what psychology shows. Everybody's on the bisexual
almost like there's a spectrum. Yeah.
And it's you either lean to one side or
another.
That's what psychology shows.
And there's there's a fluidity based on your perspective or how you were raised.
Based on your major influences.
Whatever those
and
are.
for most of us who were raised in church was our major influence.
But if we were raised with two dads or two moms, it would be a completely different story. Our paradigm would shift.
Exactly.
And we would have an expanded understanding about. Keep going.
Right. But we're afraid to have those type of
conversations.
We're afraid to have those type of conversations.
Because it's different from the norm.
Very much
it's
so.
Like 75% of everyone in the U.S. identifies with Christianity.
Right.
But Christianity as a label is so diverse.
It is.
And every pastor, depending on the building that you go into, has their own version. So why would I limit myself to another human being's understanding of this thing that's within me?
Exactly.
And why do people do that, do you think?
Because for acceptance, for tradition, for comfort, because it sounds right. Or it feels good. I will tell you this, being raised Church of God in Christ, even today when I meet people who are Church of God in Christ, I still get that warm feeling because I know there's a connection there. You know what I mean? I don't think about the fact that within so many of those type of denominations, there's so much dysfunction because we're not taught to see that. We're only told that we have to be able to see the good, and we come together to go to national convocation. And what a time we had.
Shout for the Lord.
But we forget about the dysfunctions, and then when they show up in other areas of our lives,
Yes, Michael Hurd. Michael Hurd is in the building.
Oh my God!
And
so
real quick, if anybody is looking for a mental health counselor or a mental health therapist that accepts LGBTQ and P,
right?
Because I focused a lot on the last 3 months on the P.
That's right.
It's pansexual,
right?
I am available locally in Columbus,
yes.
and Mike is available in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay.
And actually, we're available all over the world.
We are, because we offer remote services.
Exactly.
So I actually have my conferences through Zoom, through the Zoom app.
Awesome.
But
That's awesome.
But
And I actually use video chat.
Yes.
So it works.
Yep.
And most of my clients are actually are not based in Atlanta. I have quite a few clients in Atlanta, but most of them are based outside of Atlanta.
Yeah. Thank you, technology.
Awesome.
All right. So we have about. You know what?
I will definitely come back.
I love you so much.
I'll be here.
So this is a question that was submitted by a woman in my inbox. She says, "What resources or help is available to people that struggle with their spirituality or sexuality?"
I think this book.
Yeah, seriously.
This book.
It's available on Amazon.
This book I think is amazing. I think that your hunger has to drive you to educate yourself. Because I could easily say, me and Elle, Dr. Elle, we're going to get together and we're going to have a conference. Okay, we can have a conference, which I hope that we will in the future.
Definitely will.
But after that, people still have to be able to go home and be willing to do the work and explore and learn. And that's the great thing about true spirituality.
Yeah.
There's never a destination. You don't ever know it all. I remember my grandmother used to say this, and it was a very traditional thing, but it had a very spiritual meaning. She said, "I've been in holiness for 60 years. She said, and I'm just now learning what it means to live for God." Now, I understand what she was saying, but the truth is, no matter how long you are in your spirituality, there are new doors, there are new horizons, there are new things that you're going to learn.
I think that's also where people need to traditionally step out of the Bible being the only resource. I think that the Bible is God-breathed and God-inspired,
yes.
But there are so many resources and tools that are God-breathed and God-inspired.
Right.
Art is God-breathed and God-inspired.
Exactly.
Music is God-breathed and God-inspired. So I just want to encourage the people not to limit yourself.
Right.
There's always more.
And I tell people this, as long as you believe that the Bible is the end-all, be-all, then you are forever in that vortex. And there's nothing like that anyone can do until you have a hunger for something beyond what you've already been eating.
Because what you do is you limit God.
Right.
That's what you're saying. You're essentially saying if the Bible is the only way and the end all be all, then this is it. All I need to know about God is it. But then if that's the case, then don't ever listen to music.
Exactly.
Don't eat.
Exactly.
Don't go to the park and breathe in the air from the trees. You know what I mean? Like God is within all of this. Don't limit yourself to just that.
Yeah, and I think that's where we run into the greatest difficulty in trying to bring freedom or liberation to anyone who's been in that vortex.
Yeah,
because it's a breaking away.
Yeah.
And there's a price.
Yeah, there is.
There's a price.
There is, yeah.
There's a price. Sometimes you lose family. Sometimes you lose friends. Sometimes you lose followers on Instagram and Facebook.
Sure.
Sometimes you lose engagements. And for me, and you know this, I made an amazing living in traditional church, traveling and preaching.
Yes.
I was well over $100,000 a year doing that, and then to lose it all because I became authentic about my sexuality, that was difficult. So there is a price to pay. And a lot of my preacher friends who know, they hit me up all the time and say, you know what, I know what you're saying is the truth. I just can't.
And I know there are lots.
Yeah.
I know there's one major in Texas. We're not going to say his name.
Right.
But there are pastors of mega churches that can't accept it because they want to because they know it's the truth.
They know it's
but
the
they
truth.
have trillions and millions and billions of people that they would lose.
Exactly.
They couldn't get their jet. They would, their whole finances, everything would change, and they just can't. They can't.
A very well-known preacher. Me and Babe were just talking about this. A very well-known preacher that that is slowly making that transition said to me not long ago. He said, Mike, he said, everybody knows that you were the preacher that was anointed and great. He said, and then everyone saw you when you came out and you decided to be who you are. He said, but if you would ever denounce homosexuality, play the game. This is what he said.
Yeah.
He said, play the game.
Yeah.
He said, you would be the greatest preacher in America.
Yes.
He said, you would be at every conference. He said, you would be preaching on every platform. This is what he told me. He said, Mike, play the game. And I said within myself, now I ain't gonna lie, because I thought about the money. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
But literally.
But I said I could never live with myself.
You. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right, so let's switch it up.
Okay.
And real quick, I want to bring in, we have another special guest.
Yes.
His name is Terrence, and we want to do this quickly because we're actually about 10 minutes behind schedule. So real quick, Terrence, could you come in camera view and tell us about yourself, your businesses? We want to promote your business, and I also want to talk about your next activity you have coming up. So this is my friend Terrence.
Hi, everybody.
Say hi.
That's my boo.
Terrence, okay, so first thing is tell us who you are.
Sure. I am Terrence Styles. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm an actor. I am a director of music videos and photo shoots. I am a host of my own talk show, The Manual. And I'm radio personality, TV personality, and working on a docu-series. So
What are your social media tags for people to get in touch with you?
So Terrence Styles on Facebook. That's Terrence, Terrance, Styles with 2 Y's. And on Instagram, I'm only the number 1, Mr. Styles with 2 Y's.
Yes. Okay, and what's your next project you have coming up so that people can buy tickets or support what you're doing?
So I just wrapped up a play that I toured for a whole year, did 25 shows.
Yes.
So proud of you.
25 shows in
so
10
proud
cities.
of you.
Yes.
That's
so
my guy.
So I'm done with that, and I'm working on a new play called The Accountant and the Counselor.
Yes.
And that will be in December in Atlanta. So I'm in rehearsal right now for that. And like I said, I'm working on a docu-series. I am in post-production for my talk show.
Yes.
And so...
What word of advice would you give to people that need help with their spirituality or their acceptance of their sexuality?
Forget the naysayers. Just be your authentic self. And if you don't know how to do that, it's something you guys just said not too long ago. Just be in a safe and private space where you can, take out all your thoughts, lay it out on, almost like I always say, I like to unzip in my brain and take all the dust off. And
shake it out.
And dust dust it off or whatever I need to do. And so it's getting rid of all that negative energy and toxic
Toxicity,
people.
Yeah.
And then put it back in your head and zip it back up and go on about your merry way.
Yeah, fresh.
So, it's fresh. It's renew. It's like
renew.
It's like when the seasons change, you need to clean out your closet.
Come
you need
on,
to clean out
Terrence.
your
Come on, Terrence.
So, that's what I would say.
Thank you. So we are
awesome.
so honored that he is here. So thank you, Terrence, for that. That's them gonna kick us out. I'm gonna keep talking over that announcement. Make sure you follow Terrence on all of his social media tags. Make sure you support. Buy tickets to the show.
Yes.
He is an amazing person. Okay. All right. So next thing we want to do. Go ahead.
I just want to say I'm so excited. He and I just celebrated our first year anniversary.
Yes. Happy anniversary.
So proud of us. I'm so proud of us, and it was just something special. So I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
So that's what the docu-series is about. It's about our life and how we're rebuilding. Yes.
All right, so we're going to take a couple of minutes and we're going to scroll through and see and shout out some people. So behind the cameras.
Oh my gosh.
Dex,
So many
thank you
people
for
watching.
being
Thank
here.
you.
Who else do we have? Kyle, thank you for being here. It's Wiley. Hello. Otis, hi. Thank you guys for joining. Hey, T. Hey, who you got over there?
So I got Ty for Life 47
Hi,
is
Ty for
here,
Life.
and I got One Baby Girl 33. She is always supporting.
Okay, One Baby Girl 33. Make sure you send me a follow. So I want to
Yes,
connect with
she
you.
is amazing. Malik Cortez, who is just a good guy, artist, Sketch Harvey. Oh my gosh, all of these. Oh wow, Patrick
Thank y'all.
Nedrick
Hey,
is
Patrick.
here. How are you doing, man? Wow.
Thank y'all
Jerome
for so
Trammell.
much.
Jerome Trammell is like one of the really big bloggers in Atlanta. He is
Jerome,
amazing.
let's
Jerome
connect.
Trammell, yes, he's amazing. Oh my
Omari,
gosh.
hi. Hey, T, hi. Okay, so let's switch it up a little bit. We've got.
How long we at?
We should be out of here in 5 minutes, and we've got like 15 more minutes of show. But y'all can understand why with Terrence and Mike and just.
We'll have to do this again.
There's a synergy.
And start earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a synergy that's happening, and I really believe that people are receiving the information that they need to be set free and to be liberated.
That is awesome.
So don't feel like you have to do something just because someone tells you have to do. Hi.
Doc
Someone
Kid.
tells you have to
Hey,
do
Doc
it.
Kid. Terrence Kid. How you doing, man?
Hey. All right, so Mike, I have placed about 7 cards in front of you.
Okay.
You do not have to answer all of them, but what I'd like for you to do is shuffle them.
Okay.
And
Which cards? These?
Either both. They're all.
Okay.
Yeah, just shuffle them and you pick one, and I want you to read the question and answer it.
Okay. On a road trip to a vacation, your Bay's car breaks down with 20 miles to the nearest gas station or rest stop, and both of your phones are dead. Your ex stops to help. Do you allow the ex to help, or do you hike 20 miles? This is the honest to God truth. I allow the ex to help. I'm so serious. And if it is my Bay's ex, definitely.
Okay.
We're definitely going to let you help.
Okay, because y'all getting off of that road. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, very good. Go ahead and. Oh, Dad, somebody told me we didn't have any volume.
Oh, they can't hear us?
You know what? No, I'm sure yours is fine, but I had some technical issues, and I thank God that we have 3 or 4 cameras set up.
Right,
In
so we can
Jesus'
get it.
name.
Okay, want to do this
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Okay.
Don't do that one.
Oh, I'm about to say, yeah, you don't want to ask me that one
keep
because
going.
you'd be
No,
surprised
keep
what my answer would be. You would be very surprised.
Keep going.
Okay. The best advice I was given was from Bishop O.C. Allen.
Okay.
Bishop O.C. Allen, and his advice was to always be myself and forget what people really think about me. He was like, if you're ever going to be great, you're going to have to forget what people think about you. And I guess even at that time, he was noticing that I had that residue of fear of rejection within me. But he was like, you have to forget what people think about you and be your most authentic self. So, and I am definitely that. And if you follow me on any platform, you know I am going to be my most authentic self.
Yes. Okay, shuffle
again. Okay, I'll do one of these. Okay, your partner almost drowns at a pool and you rush to help, but his or her ex is already there giving them CPR. What do? Ask the ex, how can you help? Push the ex off and start taking over, breaking up with your partner for cheating. Child, no, I'm gonna let that ex keep doing what they're doing. Save my baby's life.
Okay.
Thanks to ex. Matter of fact, give the ex a little money to go out to
Little
dinner.
$5.
Yes, and then keep on pushing.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead, shuffle again. You're doing great with these questions. We're taking up a little bit of time here.
Okay.
I hope they can hear me. I'm so sorry, my viewers. Keep on,
Hope y'all
Mike.
can hear. All right. Had a crush on my boss.
Have you ever had a crush?
Have I ever had a crush on my boss? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I didn't do anything about it. I
Yeah.
never. But after I stopped working there, I've come to find out they had a crush on me too.
Bigly.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Let's see about this one. Okay. You're cuddling with Bae at 2 a.m. and you're.
These are.
Girl, this actually happened.
What?
This actually happened.
What? Okay,
You're-
read it. Read
Girl,
it.
you're cuddling with Bae at 2 a.m. and your ex texts you. He is outside with $500 that they owe you. Well, actually, they owe me money, but okay. And will only give it directly to you or not at all. What do? I'm letting you know I'm going outside and I'm getting that money.
Okay.
I'm letting you know that. Ain't no question. I'm getting that money.
I'll be only take 10 seconds.
I'm like, I'll be right back.
Actually, only take 3 seconds.
Right.
Why don't you just reach your hand through the hole and hand me my envelope.
I like these questions.
Okay.
Oh, have I ever gotten into a physical fight? Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have.
Do you remember what age you were?
Yeah, it was probably in the last.
You were an adult.
I was an adult.
Okay,
Probably in
that's
the
good.
last few years.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
You were an adult.
Yeah.
Good. Keep going.
All right.
I got into like 3 fights in school.
Really?
But other than that, I think I'm good. This about you. Keep going.
Okay,
Answer
let
the
me
question. Barry Gordy, can you hear us? Do we have volume? Can somebody confirm
Hey,
for me
Mr.
that we
J.
have volume? Hey, Mr. J, thank you for joining.
He is all the way in Bermuda. It's not Bermuda. Where does Javin live? Javin, where do you live? I forgot the name of the island. I can't think of it. Antigua? I think it's Antigua. So we're being watched all over the world right now.
Hi, is Mr. J?
Yes, Mr. J.
Hi,
yeah.
Mr. J.
And then Andy. Oh, hey.
Hey,
Andrew.
Andy.
How you doing, man?
Hi. Can y'all hear me?
Celebrity Stylist just joined us.
Hey, Celebrity Stylist.
Soca Payne. Hey.
Hi.
Wow.
So I am all of you guys. If y'all want to follow me, I'm
Yes.
dr.elllle. So 3
Please
L's.
follow
Okay.
Dr. Elle. I promise you,
I
you're going to
just
be
have a public
inspired.
account. That's why I only got like 2 followers.
Yeah. You're going to be inspired.
I just
you're
made
going
my
to,
account public.
You're going to just be excited. So
Yeah.
this is definitely
Okay.
all right. So I'll go with this one.
You want that? Okay.
The best compliment I was ever given.
The best compliment you ever received.
Or ever received.
Yeah.
I would have to say the fact that I'm always there for people. People know that they can depend on me. Like if I can't do everything that you need, I can be there for you to the best of my ability.
Wow.
So I think that's something that I try to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where that Superman comes
Come
in.
from, right?
Okay, so let's talk about how can people. Are you open to hiring an intern?
Yes, actually, I am looking for an assistant right now.
Okay, so he's looking for an assistant. You guys, let me know if y'all can hear me, please.
We need 2 assistants. Only because we start filming, for people who don't know, we start filming our docuseries this weekend.
Yes. Make sure you guys subscribe and stay abreast of all of
I'm trying to tell you, and we can't reveal the name yet.
Yeah.
But we will be in production from this weekend all the way through December.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about that. So I definitely need an assistant. So anybody, and I do prefer a female assistant.
Okay.
If that is possible, and not that I have a problem with males or anything.
No. I think,
but just because I want to keep things professional, you know what I mean, and I just need for it to be business. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So I definitely, I would love to have an assistant, and yeah. So I definitely have. If you're an intern and you need some experience, believe me, there's a lot because we have a lot coming.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have so much coming. Yeah.
Talk about how can people get in touch with you? How, if anyone is looking for a counselor or a therapist or assistance with HIV knowledge, understanding, even not even that, but causes, marathons, like whatever it is. how can people contact you for all of those things?
Well, I am so excited because one of the things I'm getting ready to do, and my partner and I, we talk very little about it, is I want to start exploring into teaching sex health classes, where or having a seminar where we actually publicly talk about sex, what it's like, what it's supposed to be, without the fear of religious dogma and things like that,
or judgment,
right? And people are able to be open and honest about what it is that they like, what they want to explore, what they would love to see, and just have a great time, So I'm excited about that. But people can get in touch with me at LoveAndLightTV, just like it sounds.
Yes,
everywhere.
So people can spell.
Yeah, they can spell it.
Or Google
it.
Love and Light
TV is there. And then on Facebook, it is Michael Willis Heard. It's just my name. Heard like you heard something.
Which you should.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that you heard something today that was beneficial to you, that liberated you, that freed you, to let you know that there is a safe space of acceptance for you, that there's more to God or spirit or the universe or emotional or into infinite intelligence than what you currently know. Yeah. But real quick, before we go, please tell people again the best way to contact and support you.
The best way to contact me would be through Instagram.
Okay.
And I'll say that Facebook is great, and I'm on Facebook. However, Instagram is a little bit more automatic for me.
Yeah.
So if you would like to connect with me, you can connect with me on Instagram at LoveAndLightTV. I'm always available. I check. I'm not so big that I have someone checking my Instagram. I'm on my own Instagram. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you all for joining. Thank you
for
Terrence, for being here.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to be here. You have no idea what this means to me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Aww. My pleasure. We're about to go eat. Before we do that, we want to give some quick shout outs to people. Who you got over there, Mike?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, good, Stu. Thank you. Eric, thank you. Leader 1980, thank you for joining.
And so Dapper 1008 said this was an amazing show.
Hi.
And
make sure you subscribe.
Please subscribe. And A Tie for Life 47 said this was amazing. And Andy 29 said, he said yes, he is there for everyone. Thank you.
Yes, you really are.
I try my best.
When God, Spirit, Universe, Infinite Intelligence connects you with genuine people, you have to love them. And I think you and we have been through different transitions.
Yes. Very similar in many ways.
We are different people than when we first met over 10 years ago.
Yes.
But what I love how we're spiritually connected is that we're always able to not only pour into each other because there's a mutual respect level there, but Spirit also grows us really quickly so that when we do reconnect, there's always a understanding.
There's always that connection there.
There's always understanding.
One of the greatest things that ever happened between me and you one day, you just called me and you said, how can I serve you? Mm-hmm. You said, what do you need to talk about? Mm-hmm. People don't do that to me because I'm always doing that for others. But you called me and you asked me. And I remember when I got on the phone, I just sat there and cried. I said, God, I needed that. God, I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. I know what I know. I know what I know. So I'm excited about our future. I'm excited about the things we're going to do. Mm. And I'm telling everybody that's watching,
it's coming.
You need to watch what's going to come out of us.
Yeah, because our partnership, I don't even fully understand it.
We've talked about this so many times.
Yes, so many times. There's an undeniable, multidimensional understanding of consciousness that I think connects us.
Yes, I agree.
So there are plenty of things coming. And we're out here. They're about to kick us out.
Yeah.
So bye. Thank you all for joining.
We love y'all. Bye, everyone.